Y'all, you know, when I reported this information the first time, I told y'all it's gonna get worse before it gets better. And baby, since I usually don't do this, but since I talked about Halle Bailey's restraining order against DDG, I'm about to go over his restraining order against Halle Bailey. All right, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review celebrities, celebrity legal news, and issues. So let's get into this. Let's get into this. Let's get into this. As you all are coming in from whatever platform this is streaming on, please hit that heart button if you're on X. Please hit that Please hit that like button if you're on YouTube. And if you're over on Twitch, send a bit. I figured it out. All right, y'all, let's get into this. Let's get into this. First of all, let's go ahead and see the article from TMZ because that's what popped on my news feed first. It says DDG files to stop Halle Bailey from leaving the country with son, claims she's at risk to herself and to the infant. Now, let's go down because that's the update, but let's start the article. It says here that DDG has filed an emergency motion to stop Halle Bailey from taking their infant son out of the country, claiming she possesses an imminent emotional and psychological risk to their child. The rapper filed the docs Wednesday morning asking for an emergency hearing because he says Halle has made plans to fly with their son Halo to Italy on Saturday. Now, we know that she's going to Italy because within her restraining order documents, she said that she's contractually obligated to go to Italy to film for a movie. DDG says the court shouldn't allow this because she is not mentally healthy enough to care for herself and their child, and he worries about what she might do if she leaves the court's jurisdiction. He provides examples of alleged conduct he thinks is troubling. He talked about a firearm. He's talked about, let me just read it. DDG provides example of alleged conduct he thinks is troubling, claiming Halle once took his pew-pew and left the house without telling him where she was going. He alleges he ultimately found her outside just holding the weapon. He says she was pregnant when the incident went down. He alleges that Halle once tried to terminate a pregnancy behind his back, but says she ultimately changed her mind and decided not to do it. Okay, I don't know if are we using contemplating or talking about that as somebody being mentally unhinged in this era? I'm asking the Gen Zers. I'm not sure. On another occasion, 2 months after Halo was born, DDG claims Halle sent a series of alarming text messages, threatening to prune herself from the timeline and suggesting that their infant foe also might be harmed. All right, so let's read the update and then we'll go into the restraining order. So as of 2:23 Pacific Standard Time, Halle Bailey has filed to deny DDG's request and instead grant her permission to take their son out of the country so she can work. Halle is also requesting orders to stop DDG and his family and friends posting about their son. This litigation and Halle and on all platforms. Halle also points out that DDG waited until June the 4th to request a block from her traveling and ask for new custody orders when he and his attorney have ignored all of her efforts for him to have monitored visits with their son since the issuance of the TRO on 5/13/2025. A lot. I don't know why I am buffering. I see y'all. Let me move over here. What is going on? Why am I frozen? Lord. Hold on, y'all. Okay. Let's stop sharing, see if that helps. Maybe that's what helps. I don't know. Sometimes when you share these things, it gets to acting foolish. I'm frozen in time. Has me all frozen in time. Just trying to report what I see. And shout out to Document Teams, because this is where I got the copy of the order. All right, let me see how I want to do this. Okay. So now I will tell you, if you look down here, it says it's 91 pages. So that's telling me that the attached declaration is plentiful, because I think the particular domestic violence restraining order is like 10 or 11 pages, possibly. But we will go, so we won't hit on everything. I just want to hit on those couple of things that we so it says, I just want so that you know that he's the one filing. So it says here your name, and he has his name, DDG, Daryl Dwayne Granberry, 27, living in Los Angeles. He has his attorney's information on here. And right here, he's saying, who person you want protection from. And he says Halle Bailey, gives her name. They talk about that they do have a child together. They ask if there's another restraining order, and we do see one here, and it expires today. Yes, it expires today. Talk about the inviting with the court case. Let's see. So they say, see, so most recent abuse, they talk about the attached declarations. Is the person abused you in different ways from the abuse you describe? It says, see attached declaration. Did the police come? No. And pretty much it says, see attached declaration. Is there abuse by persons you judge know about? See attached declaration. The police didn't come out. So let's see. They talk about their child as 1.5. See, see. It says here, does the person have firearms or guns? And they said, I don't know. Check out what you want the judge to make an order not to abuse, a no contact order, a stay away order. Okay. So no contact, stay away from him, his home, his job, his vehicle, and each person in number 8. So who did he list in number 8? He only lists Halo. All right. How far do you want? You got to stay 100 yards. That's 300 feet. They don't live together. They don't work in the same place. All right. So they talk about child custody and visitation, control of property. I asked the judge to allow me to record calls or communications the person in number 2 makes to me when those calls or communications violate the restraining order. All right. So let's go ahead. Lawyer fees, child support, all of that. So let's go ahead and get to the declaration. And we're going to go ahead and read that. Hopefully it won't take that long, but definitely we're going to read this. See the difference? Hey, Batty girl, Chuni. See, the difference is Halle went and reported it on the day of. She has her police report. That is true. That is true. That is so very true. So let's see what we said, because I've heard someone say, oh, he waited to after he did Streaming University and he went to DreamCon before he decided to file this report. For it to be starting on page 21, this is a good this is a large amount of information that's coming. So let's see what he says. So I am going to read it, and when we get to something that piques our interest, I'm definitely going to let's see. there. That's what I wanted to do. It says here, attachment to DV 100 and DV 101, declaration of Daryl Dwayne Granberry Jr. I, Daryl Granberry Jr., declare and state as follows. I am the respondent in this action. I have firsthand personal knowledge of the facts contained in this declaration, and if called as a witness, I could and would competently testify hereto under oath. I offer this declaration in lieu of personal testimony pursuant to the Code of Civil Procedures and Marriage of Stevenot, 1984. I submit this declaration in support of my request for a DV restraining order request against petitioner Halle Bailey, hereinafter the petitioner, the mother of our son, Halo St. Granberry, herein referred to as Halo. So here's the background information that he says. It says, I am a musician having enjoyed a successful career since 2017 as a multi-platinum rapper, singer, and songwriter. I maintain a large presence on YouTube and social media. Petitioner is a singer, actress, and songwriter, having had success in R&B and film. Petitioner and I began dating in or around November 2021. And then they had a baby. Wow. Okay. So she was pregnant into, okay. We share one child together, Halo, born December 22nd, 2023. Our relationship quickly became volatile and was marked by repeated arguments, threats, and physical altercations. Petitioner has since weaponized our child to exert coercive control and manipulation over me, interfering with my access to Halo. While I have made every effort to be as precise as possible, and he highlighted this, with the dates, the abuse inflicted by petitioner occurred so frequently and pervasively throughout our relationship that it is difficult to recall the exact dates of each incident. Additionally, petitioner has engaged in the following conduct, thereby perpetrating abuse against me as recognized pursuant to the DV Prevention Act. Summary of abuse perpetrated upon me. Petitioner routinely used emotional coercion, including but not limited to threats of self-harm when I attempted to leave the relationship and or establish boundaries. Petitioner weaponized our pregnancy, demanding reconciliation, or placing me in the impossible situation of being threatened that she would abort our baby should I not reconcile or accede to her demands. Petitioner on multiple occasions invaded my privacy by going through my phone while I slept. Petitioner engaged in physical abuse perpetrated upon me by slapping and punching me during an August 2024 altercation over my phone. Petitioner repeatedly struck me while driving in a car on August 16, 2024, while leaving the Bruno Mars concert in Los Angeles. Let me just shift. Petitioner repeatedly struck me while we were parked outside her house during a custody exchange on January 18, 2025, then falsely claimed I slammed her head into the steering wheel. Okay, so that's that event that she talked about that she chipped her tooth. Petitioner on multiple occasions has physically attacked me during this custodial exchanges of Halo, including but not limited to grabbing and pulling Halo from my arms. Petitioner has surveilled me through the surreptitious use of Apple AirTags placed within my vehicles. Petitioner shows up uninvited to events, including a movie theater and studio sessions, often resulting in confrontations. This Apple AirTag stuff is scary. It's scary. Petitioner pushed me and attempted to attack my companion while outside a movie theater in June of 2023. Petitioner has frequently used racial slurs and profane language directed at me in front of others, including family, friends, and our child. Petitioner has denigrated and demeaned my masculinity, saying I wasn't enough of a man for her. Petitioner exercised coercive control. Let's see. Coercive control over me by withholding access to our son, also based upon my refusal to or abide by her dictates or demands. Let me do this. Let me just. Let me go over here. Hold on, y'all. I just. All right. All right. Petitioner frequently changes agreed upon custody arrangements without notice, denying my access to Halle as a tool for control or punishment. Petitioner blocks communications, demanding that all communications involving Halle proceed through my mother. Petitioner, during emotional outbursts, has destroyed my personal property, including my laptop that contained critical music and content work. Petitioner stole my legally owned firearm during an argument in August of 2023 and was found outside the house in possession of it. Let's get the racial relationship timeline and emotional coercion. In early 2022, our relationship deteriorated after Petitioner became verbally aggressive, largely due to her growing hostility related to my professional collaborations with other women and her fixation on my past relationships. During Grammy weekend, February 2022, Petitioner became enraged over text messages between me and my previous girlfriend. Now, are these the text messages that, well, what was this girl's name? And her name Ruby Rose? Are these those text messages? What we got? Is that he's a clown? Oh, thanks, Helen G. Hello, hello. I heard she put the Apple tag in the baby's bag. Got you. The difference is called proof. If she put an Apple AirTag in Halo's bag, it's probably something that's normal, being that she has nannies. Okay. So she can see clock where he's at, because and I'm not against that, because I know that I've known parents, like when their children go on outings with the school, that they would put those air tags on them, like on the inside of their clothes or somewhere where it's not visible, but they can definitely keep up with where the child is at. So I can see that. So okay, but he's saying that she put the air tag in his car. Oh, okay, let's read on, because like I said, I read her petition. I'm gonna read his too. During Grammy weekend, in fact, okay, we read that. An argument ensued wherein petitioner texted another man to arrange to meet at 2 a.m. following the Grammy after party. Although my messages were platonic in nature, petitioner fixated on them and retaliated by texting this other individual. This marked the point at which I attempted to end our relationship. Despite my attempts to end my relationship, petitioner continued to contact and pursue me. So you text because if I remember those texts weren't platonic. Those texts and the other person had to kind of get them together. Like, why are you calling me? Why are you texting me? Y'all let me know if I'm on the right track with those texts, because I see all this information come up and go through on the blogs and stuff, but I don't pay attention to I don't really pay attention to too much of it, but I have an idea. Over time, her persistence elicited a sense of sympathy in me, which ultimately led to our reconciliation. Unfortunately, following our reunion, her behavior grew increasingly volatile, characterized by escalating verbal abuse and eventually physical aggression. Shortly thereafter, we reconciled, and despite our best intentions, the relationship continued to suffer because of petitioner's insecurity. Petitioner continued to accuse me of impropriety whenever I spent time in the studio or collaborated with female artists or content creators. Petitioner would initiate arguments premised upon speculation and jealousy. Her constant accusation, having no basis in fact, utterly destroyed my peace of mind and emotional calm. Petitioner would routinely compare our relationship to those I had with former partners, particularly another rapper and popular content streamer. Petitioner would use these comparisons to undermine and criticize me. As a result of the petitioner's jealousies and insecurities, I find myself entangled in an on and off again relationship marked by ongoing emotional volatility, unresolved conflict, and repeated attempts at reconciliation that ultimately failed to establish lasting stability. Petitioner, I do believe I said this in the first thing. Once you start seeing these types of things, y'all need to think, because this happened way, way before. Because you're talking about, because Halo was born in 2023, December of 2023. So that tells me that pregnancy happened probably January or February of 2023. And these are things that you're talking about in 2022. Both of y'all had the responsibility to unattach to each other. Petitioner conduct, interference with respect to my access and time spent with Halo, is used to control me. Petitioner limits my ability to be a father to our son, particularly when I refuse to accede to her demands. Petitioner's obstruction is retaliatory and habitually occurs when I refuse to follow petitioner's dictates. Petitioner will attempt to exert control over my streaming content, my streaming associations, or my refusal to reconcile with her. Despite multiple attempts, because when I hear this, she's got a video with her sister where she talks about how she does, she believes you're supposed to be with her forever. Now, I saw a video with that. Now, I'm not, it's not word for word, but they were on stream and they were talking and laughing about it. So social media, this social media game, and he's on there too, doing some things too. Because I remember he had like where he got on there and he was talking to like an AI. That whole thing didn't seem right. Despite multiple attempts to reconcile for the sake of our child, petitioner's behavior has escalated to include physical violence, emotional manipulation, threats of self-harm, and coercive control. I am now seeking protection for myself and our son. Petitioner's verbal abuse of me. Petitioner habitually used verbal abusive and profane language, often yelling F-U, N-word, stupid A, N-word, stupid A, B-I-T-C-H, and calling me a B-I-T-C-H during arguments. Petitioner would frequently denigrate and demean me by telling me I'm not enough a man for her. These verbal assaults often occur in the presence of others, including family members, and most troubling for me, our infant child. Incidents of this nature occurred repeatedly throughout our relationship. Then he has on here, pregnancy-related emotional abuse and coercion. Despite the instability, petitioner disclosed in or about April of 2023 that she was pregnant with our son. We had multiple conversations of our plan to co-parent together, even though our relationship had ended. Despite recognizing that our relationship was unstable, I still wanted to move forward with having our child and was prepared to take on that responsibility. At the same time, I made it clear to petitioner that I would support whatever decision she ultimately made regarding the pregnancy, so long as I was kept informed and included in the process. My only request was to be part of the decision. In June of 2023, I discovered petitioner attempted to terminate the pregnancy without my knowledge or consent, regardless of our prior discussions to parent the child together. On or about June 6, 2023, petitioner contacted me complaining that she was bleeding and in pain. In my effort to assist, I contacted her OBGYN and learned that a petitioner had attempted to abort the baby but failed to take the second abortion dose. Following this discovery, I spoke to petitioner her OBGYN told you that information. Y'all let me know. Because with the canceling of Roe versus Wade and women not having autonomy over their bodies and things like that, someone, because I know I can't call, I help with my mom, and I know I just can't call her doctor unless all this paperwork is signed saying that they can do. I can't even ask these types of questions. Y'all let me know. No. Because I'm just sitting here thinking, when I read it, you saw me do the double take. I read it, and then it just triggered. It clicked in my head like, wait a minute, that sounds like a HIPAA violation somewhere. But let's continue. This is what he said. So he says he called her OBGYN and learned that the petitioner attempted to abort the baby, but failed to take the second abortion dose. Now, here's my question. My second question. So if I got anybody watching that's a nurse, that's a doctor, or whatever, what pill do they give you to do that? Because that wouldn't be the plan B. The plan B wouldn't do this, would it? The plan B keeps the critters from going into the egg, right? You let me know. Thank you. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I didn't know. Because my uterus says no dogs allowed. Following this discovery, I spoke to petitioner and asked why she would abort our child after we had agreed to co-parent together. Petitioner threatened me by demanding that we reconcile or she go through with the abortion. This was the most troubling of her attempts to coercively control me. Following this threat, coupled with the fact that she attempted to abort without informing me, I made the decision to cut ties with her. I could no longer be subjected to her controlling behavior and wondered whether her actions may have jeopardized the health and well-being of our unborn child. Despite making it clear I wanted out of the relationship, petitioner insisted that the baby was unharmed and informed me that she began attending multiple medical appointments in an effort to reassure me. These appointments appeared less about transparency and more about convincing me to stay. Ultimately, we learned that our baby was miraculously healthy, moved by that outcome and motivated by a desire to preserve a sense of family for my unborn son. I chose to reconcile with petitioner once again in hopes of creating a stable environment for our child. True to form, petitioner, in an effort to control me, once again repeatedly threatened to proceed with the abortion and or expressed regret that she had not already done so. These repeated threats and comments caused me severe emotional harm and distress. Petitioner's surveillance and stalking with air tags. Petitioner has repeatedly showed up unannounced to places I frequent, initiating public confrontations and outbursts. On or about June 16, 2023, while petitioner was pregnant, she appeared uninvited at a movie theater in Westwood where I was attending a film with a female friend. To be clear, This individual has been a long-standing, strictly platonic friend, and there was no romantic or inappropriate relationship between us at any time. Okay, that's good. But I thought y'all were not in a relationship. So why would it have mattered? You didn't need to say that. I think you should have repeated that you were no longer in a relationship. You were just being cordial because she was pregnant with your baby. Let's continue. I later discovered that petitioner had been using hidden Apple AirTags in my vehicles to monitor my location, which explains how she knew where I was that evening. Petitioner entered the theater and immediately began shouting profanities in a loud and a disruptive manner for all to hear. I was incredibly embarrassed by the incident. In an effort to de escalate the situation so as to avoid further confrontation, I exited the theater with my companion. Petitioner then followed closely behind, continuing to shout expletives and directing her verbal assault at both me and my friend, referring to us as bees and threatening to beat her ass. She made repeated accusations of infidelity and attempted to initiate physical altercations with my friend, all while continuing to use hostile and inflammatory language at the two of us. My. Hold on. And so all of this happened, when was this? 2023. Give me one moment. Hold on, y'all. All right. I was looking up because I see this. Here's why I stopped. It says on or about June 16th, 2023, while she was pregnant, she appeared uninvited in a movie theater. And I was thinking, weren't they doing the premiere of The Little Mermaid? And didn't they do what? Because I'm just trying to figure these times out. Because I was like, when that Little Mermaid time? What say you all? Got you. So that would cause her. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mika. I have a feeling the lawyers use ChatGPT. Yes, I'm just sitting here because I had to pause. I literally had to pause because I was like, wasn't she on a press tour during this time? Because being in the movie theater and her cutting up like that and being the Little Mermaid, being Disney princess, we should have heard. Because come on now, the age that we live in, if I would have seen a Little Mermaid come into the movie theater, where y'all at? I'm gonna beat you in that bee's behind. You know everybody is turning around, cameras in her face, cameras in their face. And then it says here, she repeated accusations of infidelity and attempted to initiate a physical altercation with my friend, all while continuing to use hostile and inflammatory language at the two of us. As petitioner attempted to physically attack my friend, I was forced to intervene and restrain petitioner to prevent harm to my friend and to petitioner who was carrying our unborn child. This incident was particularly troubling as it clearly established that petitioner was becoming more unhinged more frequently. During petitioner's pregnancy from April through December 2023, I found Apple AirTags in my vehicle. Upon discovering these devices, I realized petitioner was using these devices to stalk and surveil me. I did not become aware that petitioner was tracking my movements until I began receiving persistent and unfamiliar Apple AirTag notifications on my electronic devices. Jeez. It became evident that petitioner had been using AirTags to stalk and monitor my whereabouts. Together with my mother and her fiance, George Charleston, who also serves as my driver, we discovered Apple AirTags concealed in all three of my vehicles: a Rolls Royce, a Maybach, and an Escalade. George and I frequently received alerts indicating that an unknown AirTag was moving with us. Despite multiple attempts to prompt the device to emit an audible sound so to identify the location of the device, it remained undetected until later inspections by George and my mother. Oh. Oh my gosh. Yes, you know the blogs would have ate that up. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Exactly. He's lying and lying more and more. It's a lot of fabrication of things that he has done to her. Interesting. How would he be able to get notifications if it's her Apple AirTag connected to her account? Girl, as they say, don't get me the line. On occasion during the pregnancy, an AirTag was found by my mother hidden inside of a vitamin bottle stored in the trunk of my car. On another occasion, it was discovered by a close female friend of mine tucked within a baby bottle holder. Now, somebody just said that in the comments that each time an AirTag was located, it was promptly removed and discarded. The repeated placement of these devices demonstrates a clear and disturbing pattern of stalking and surveillance without my knowledge and consent, of all of which further contributes to my sense of fear, violation, and lack of privacy. Following our child's birth, wait a minute. It hits me and it clicks in my brain. So we found in a vitamin bottle. Who uses vitamins? That's a dumb place to put it. Female mind tucked within a baby bottle holder. That's a dumb place to put it because people go in out and use the baby bottles. The reason why I'm saying that is that if you were trying to conceal or hide something, those are terrible places to conceal and hide. Why not under the headrest? People don't usually move their headrest up and down. They don't usually, once they have it in place, it's in place. Why not there? In your air vent would have been a better place to put it. In that little slot where your you know how when you do your seatbelt, there's that little slot down in there. That would have been a place to put one. I'm just thinking about, And don't mishear me. I'm not trying to be devious of anything. I'm just trying to say those places don't seem like great hiding places. I'm using my Scooby-Doo mind. Those the places don't my Velma mind. Those places don't seem like good places because of the fact that somebody is going to find them. Even under the seat. Yeah. Oh no, I don't. But see, this is where I'm looking at is the dates because Halo wasn't born until 2023. He's saying this happened in June. So that tells me that someone with an infant, if someone with a baby was traveling in and out of his car. So if you're putting it in a baby bottle holder or whatever that is, that's going to get discovered. All right. And maybe that's why at the beginning of this, he said, oh, I didn't, I'm not sure about all the dates because everything happened so quickly. Okay. On in or about August of 2024, petitioner became physically violent when I refused to give her my phone. She slapped and punched me repeatedly while I attempted to de-escalate the situation. My mother witnessed the incident and intervened to get her to stop. Also present was a close family friend, Richard Baby Rich Terry. I had to physically restrain petitioner by holding her wrist in an attempt to get her to stop the assault. During the chaos, she ran off with my laptop from the garage. Petitioner repeatedly texted me and threatened to destroy it unless I answered her phone calls. The incident arose from one of many arguments sparked by the petitioner's jealousy and mistrust over my professional content collaborations. As a content creator, streamer, video editor, and music producer, my laptop is central to my livelihood. It contains ongoing projects, unreleased footage, and software critical to my work. This act not only caused significant financial harm, but also disrupted my ability to meet professional obligations. Attached here too is as Exhibit 1 is a true and correct copy of petitioner's message from June 23, wherein she states my computer is broken following her belief that I cheated on her. I'm so confused. I thought y'all were not dating. I'm confused. Y'all must have somewhere in there I missed where y'all got back together. But I guess they had like an on and off relationship. Mm. Right. Even under the seat, in the glove compartment. No. Okay. Allegedly. Is it pure and driven snow, according to this rejected request for TRO? New report says that the judge rejected this. Wow, we're gonna have to go back. Let me see what. Hold on, I'm just gonna click over here real quick. Well, they don't have an update as of this time. Not on TMZ. But let's continue. Unfortunately, this was not an isolated incident. Petitioner consistently expressed discomfort and hostility toward my work, particularly when it involved collaborating on films with other women, or filming with other women, excuse me. She refused to be part of my content and often used emotional manipulation or conflict to prevent. Tongue just heavy today. Let me see. She refused to be part of my content and often used emotional manipulation or conflict to prevent me from filming with female colleagues, despite the professional nature of my work. In contrast, I was expected to accept her participation in intimate on-screen roles, including kissing and close physical contact with her male co-stars in films, without objection. This double standard created ongoing tension and further reflected the controlling and unequal dynamic in our relationship. Petitioner has repeatedly interfered with my work, often by initiating arguments, causing disruptions while I was recording or editing, or withholding access to necessary equipment. Petitioner would force me to edit her out of projects last minute and or refuse to allow me or my family to post projects with her likeness or features after granting consent. Her conduct severely impacted my ability to earn income and maintain stability. Well, depending on what the content was, because it's one thing to sit there, but it's one thing. It depends on what the content was. And again, if this was happening all on and about this press release of the Little Mermaid, I'm quite sure she didn't want any adverse content that would conflict with her Disney image. Notably, on August 16th, 2024, I documented on such outbursts by petitioner as we were leaving a Bruno Mars concert at the Inuit. Is that Intuit Dome, which we had attended with our son. During this incident, you took the baby to the concert? Don't you have to have them little earmuffs for the baby? Aren't those concerts just too loud for babies? During this incident, petitioner became upset. I sound like an old auntie, don't I? And I'm proud of it. During this incident, petitioner became upset and demanded we leave. As I was driving back home from the concert, she became verbally aggressive and emotionally unhinged in the presence of our child. She began to hit me as I was driving with our child. Petitioner clearly had no regard for her personal safety or that of our infant son. I ended up pulling the car over so that I could de-escalate her volatility and make sure we were safe. I recorded her outburst to preserve a record of her behavior, as it reflected an ongoing pattern of volatility that has continued to jeopardize both my emotional well-being and our son's sense of safety and stability. I will play this recording during trial. However, attached here to is Exhibit 2 is a true and correct transcript of that recording. Okay. I have also repeatedly called my mother during incidents where petitioner was physically assaulting me. This occurred so frequently, I cannot provide the court with specific dates. These events were not isolated. She would often refuse to leave my home or my vehicle, preventing me from leaving and demanding conversation against my will. On multiple occasions, petitioner had refused to let me leave her home by physically blocking exits and threatening to withhold our son if I attempt to separate from him. On or about January 18th, 2025, petitioner agreed that I could pick up our son Halo for an overnight visit. However, when I arrived at her residence, she insisted that we discuss and formalize a visitation schedule, an issue that had become increasingly contentious due to her repeated pattern of using Halo as a means of control, arbitrarily limiting my access based on her emotions or preferences. After placing Halo in his car seat, petitioner unexpectedly entered the back seat of the vehicle and refused to exit, effectively preventing me from exercising my custodial time. Despite my repeated requests for her to leave the car, she locked herself inside with Halo and grew increasingly agitated. Concerned for the safety and well-being of our son, I called my mother for guidance on how to proceed. During this incident, petitioner demanded that I talk to her and make a schedule, and then proceeded to strike me from the back seat by launching herself over the center console into the front seat to punch me. As she did so, her own momentum caused her to hit her head on the steering wheel. At no point did I strike her. In fact, I attempted to shield myself by restraining her arms to prevent further punches. Eventually, I drove home with petitioner still in the backseat car in an effort to get her to calm her down and exercise my visitation. I arrived home and went inside with Halo as petitioner stayed outside to talk to my family and complain about the status of our relationship. After my mother arrived, petitioner spent time with my little sister, who eventually drove her home. At no point did she leave the premise in a state of distress or hysteria. Attached hereto is Exhibit 3 is a true and correct reflection of my injuries sustained by petitioner from her attack. This behavior is consistent with her ongoing efforts to interfere with my custodial rights, including unilaterally denying visitation and traveling out of town, such as her undisclosed trip to St. Lucia, which I only discovered through social media. These acts demonstrate a continued pattern of coercive control, emotional volatility, and disregard for agreed upon parenting arrangements. I hope those agreed upon parental arrangements were written down. Petitioner's repeated threats of self-harm and pruning from the timeline. Petitioner routine, let me see what you all are saying. Let me go back up. All right, you said news report that the judge rejected this, okay? Haley says they broke up in November 2024 in her TRO. Thank you. This dude, let's see. Tia Davis says, I would put an air tag in my baby's bag as well if he was always threatening to take my child away. And the fact that she said DDG has hidden Halo from her in the past, DDG is manipulative. He's lying about that because that song he put out, Famous, talks about how she better stop kissing her co-star. He couldn't have done this in January when he originally threatened. Both of them guilty of coercing. It doesn't sound good. And like I said, he has videos, yeah, because he had that song about that, and he had talked about that. And again, I'm only speaking of clips that I saw on TikTok, what I had seen. And then I saw a clip, he's come out with these songs. He's come out and said some disparaging things to her. It was framed as trying to be funny, levity and funny, but it was ha. He was laughing, but it didn't seem funny. Then I know that they pulled out, I watched another YouTuber that pulled some clips, during the pandemic when everybody was online and everybody was telling all their business. Her and her sister looked like they were on a Instagram live talking about how they were. And she had done a live talking about, she's very, I don't think jealous was the word she did, but she was like, I'm going to be the only girl you're going to have. You don't need to be talking to anybody else or anything like that. So there is wording to that out here online. All right. What physician will release HIPAA to a non-spouse? I'm just trying to figure that out. I stopped and paused when I read that. I was like, he did. Oh, I forgot about that. He argued with a robot featuring Halle's voice. Anything is possible. He sure did. And then he made that song, Don't Take My Son, Don't Take My Son, Please Don't Take My Son. Because something happened during that time that he was feeling a little salty about. I don't know exactly what that was. How you arguing with Chat GPT? Oh my gosh. Y'all, we getting too close to the Terminator era. We just too close to it. The earliest account I have of this documented was in March 2022. We were in Atlanta and an argument ensued between us. I left petitioner as I did not want to continue to engage in a fight with her. Upon leaving, petitioner repeatedly called me. When I didn't answer her calls, then she proceeded to text me. Lord, this sounds like part of the transcript of the Diddy case, with Diddy leaving all these telephone calls to Cassie. Upon leaving, petitioner repeatedly called me. When I didn't answer her calls, she then proceeded to text me. Attached here to is Exhibit 4 is a true and correct copy of these messages. In these messages, petitioner is threatening to end the relationship if I did not answer her calls. When I respond, informing her I just want to be left alone, she threatens me, claiming she has a knife. On several occasions, petitioner has threatened to prune herself from the timeline, especially when I tried to end the relationship or leave her residence. In or about August of 2023, during a particularly volatile argument, petitioner became enraged and threatened to end her existence using my legally owned firearm. Without my consent, she took the weapon and left the house. Bruh, you live in California. Bruh, that stuff's supposed to be locked up with keys. Bruh, how did she get it? Bruh, too many questions. Alarmed and unable to locate her, I immediately contacted my mother, who arrived shortly thereafter with her fiance, George, to assist in the search. George ultimately located petitioner outside in possession of the firearm. He safely retrieved the weapon from her. Following this, petitioner proceeded to run upstairs and lock herself in the master bedroom closet, where she remained lying on the floor in an emotionally unstable state. This incident was one of several in which petitioner's actions posed a serious threat to her own safety and the safety of our son by creating an environment of emotional distress and danger within the home. On March 21st, 2024, petitioner sent messages threatening to prune herself from the timeline and made statements that suggest she might harm our son. She then attempted to drive while in emotional distress with our child in the car. I was so concerned for Halo's safety, I contacted petitioner's godmother, asking her to intervene. On at least two other occasions that I can recall, one in September 2024 and another in November 2024, petitioners sent similar threatening messages. As attached here to Exhibit 5 are true and correct copies of text messages I received from petitioner. Giving these threats to self-harm, I believe petitioner is a threat to our son's safety, such that she should not be allowed to take Halo out of the country to Italy for a period of 2 months. I am filing a concurrent ex parte application seeking to preclude petitioner's international travel. In the event this court does not grant the ex parte relief, I will have no choice but to report petitioner's threats to harm herself by placing her son's safety at risk with the Los Angeles County Department of Children and Family Services as something I was hoping to avoid. Petitioner's coercive control of my access to Halo. Petitioner repeatedly refused to allow me to see Halo when I was not in a romantic relationship with her. If I created content with other women or posted something online, she would block me and withhold access. She often used our son as leverage to control me emotionally or punish me. Petitioner frequently blocked me on all platforms after breakups and would only communicate through my mother. This became a constant pattern, with her toggling between affectionate behavior and extreme hostility, depending on whether I was physically or emotionally available to her. Petitioner has routinely threatened to withhold custody and block visitation when I assert boundaries or request changes to our parenting plan. She has made it difficult to arrange pickup and drop off and has resorted to screaming and threats during these exchanges, often in front of our son. During one incident, petitioner physically prevented me from retrieving our son by standing in front of the door while yelling profanities at me. My mother was often involved in facilitating safe custody exchanges due to petitioner's unpredictability and refusal to communicate directly. She has witnessed petitioner attempt to take Halo from my arms and deny my parental rights. including an incident at petitioner's West Hollywood apartment where her sister, godmother, and my father were present. As I was holding Halo in my arms in an attempt to visit our son, petitioner began to hit me in an effort to get me to stop from taking Halo from the limited time for the limited time amounted bleh, for the limited amount of time she had already agreed for me to have him in my care and custody. Petitioner's escalating behavior poses an immediate threat to my safety and emotional well being, and more importantly, to the stability and safety of our son. As a result of such conduct behavior, I respectfully request the following protective orders: personal contact and stay away orders, sole legal and physical custody of Halo to me or in the alternative joint legal and physical with 2255 custody visitation schedule, prohibit prohibition. Oh, my tongue is so thick today. Prohibition on removing our son from California or the United States without court permission, use of our family wizard for communication and coordination, other order that all custodial exchanges be facilitated by a third party, including my mother or a nanny, to avoid further direct contact with petitioner. I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of California that the foregoing is true and correct. And this was dated on June the 3rd, 2025. So let's go down here to these exhibits. We've got exhibit 1. Oh, we've got text messages. So this is 6/17/2023. And Haley, I guess that's her telephone number. That's not right. I have to go. Where's his responses? Are these just continuing? Okay. All right. Because I was gonna say there's no responses. Okay. Let's look at the time. So this is 12:57, 12:58, 12:58. And he reviewed them on 144. So it says, that's not right. I have to go. I've been so nice. I've been calm. I've not broken your property or anything. I have to go. I'm pregnant and you're trying to cause me more stress for no reason. I said this morning respectfully, I'm not arguing with you anymore. You want to be petty, you can be petty by yourself. Stop blocking me. Okay, I gave you a chance. You ruined my whole day. I have to work. Your computer is broken now. Goodbye. So I'm going to stop calling now. You've cheated on me. I've literally caught you with another girl last night. And today you've stolen my car. All while I'm pregnant. I can't do this anymore. I tried to call you to tell you I'm going to go to the doctor. I'm leaving work now. I'm tired and I tried. Please do not try and say I didn't tell you when I'm blowing up your phone. Wait a minute. What car was stolen? Who stole whose car? Okay, let's continue. Haley, this is for. I can't do this if this is how it's going to be. I want to be free. I wish you the best in everything that you do in the future. Daryl's phone. How come you can take my things and I can't take yours? Just give me my laptop back and I'll happily give you your car keys. Okay, so she took your laptop and you took her car. I will bring you your keys when you get home. Just let me know when home. I'm home. Take me to dinner. We need to have a civil conversation. I'm not doing back and forth with you anymore. If you're going to actually listen to me, I will. I'm not listening to you demean or insult me anymore. So don't even try it. Girl, why are you trying to go to dinner? Is it because you want people to be around? Okay, I can understand that. All right. I'm not listening to you. Okay. Got that. Haley, if you're not going to be gentle with me when I'm going through this hard time, then we don't need to talk. That's facts, period. Exhibit 2. Transcript of image IMG-3293, August 16th. Respondent, keep hitting me. Petitioner, you stupid B. Respondent, keep hitting me. Petitioner, you're a stupid B. Respondent, keep hitting me. Cheating ass. Respondent, keep hitting me. Petitioner, not dirty. I wasn't ready to see that. Oh my gosh. Not dirty D. Respondent, yep, keep hitting me. Petitioner, blank ass bitch. Respondent, yep, keep hitting me. Respondent, yeah, you got effed. Respondent, get out of my car. Respondent, you got effed before, keep hitting me. Petitioner, I never got effed. Respondent, yes, you did. Yeah, keep hitting me. Oh, they sound like children. Petitioner, nope, not even by you. Respondent, yep, keep hitting me. Petitioner, not even by you. Respondent, keep hitting me. Keep hitting me. Petitioner, stupid A. Respondent, yeah, I bet you calm down. Petitioner, get the F out of my car. Respondent, bet you calm down now. Petitioner, get out of my car then. Respondent, I bet you calm down now. Petitioner, get out of my car trying to disrespect me in my car. Respondent, I bet you calm down now. Petitioner, so get out. So get out. Respondent, bet you calm down now. Petitioner, so get out. They got one more, bet you calm down now and get out of my car. And what you think this effing cone is? F. Exhibit 3. What is this picture of? Oh, okay. I wasn't ready for that. So he's got cut on his hand right here on his thumb. Okay. He's got some scratches. Is that a scratch too? Just a red mark. I don't know where it's coming from. Okay. Got the red mark here. Okay. Scratches. Looks like scratches here. I don't know what this is for, what this picture is. Nice watch. Okay. He's showing us the thumb. Okay, we got exhibit 4. Y'all, we're doing good on time. Okay. Because I didn't want this live to be longer than 2 hours. All right, exhibit 4. Halle, no to this tweet. Daryl's phone. What's wrong with it? Halle, Donald, of all people? Let's not. Ella laugh in my ear. So this was in March of 2022. So this was before pregnancy. Okay, it's a Daryl. This is 310. It's not that deep, LOL. It is, though. Halle, Donald is a racist man who doesn't care about us. Halle, why would you leave? I'm done with the threats. Did we miss a conversation? Let's see. No. Halle, stop being this way. File attachment with meme type. File attachment with meme. And then it's so all of this conversation happened between 1:49 and 6:46. So then we're here at 7:14 p.m. This is when he viewed the memes and the attachments. And then at 6:48, she asked him to answer the phone. I'm going to try one more time. If you don't answer, it's over forever. I'm not playing, Daryl. That's it. I just want to be left alone, please. She says, I'm calling for help. I have a knife. Ooh. I'm calling for help, but you don't care, do you? Ooh. Okay. Daryl, have a knife for what? I called because I needed help, but you've shown time and time again that you just don't care, and that's okay. Whatever I decide to do is none of your concern. Just leave me in peace. I came there to check on you. For you to act like you're going to hurt yourself to make me feel some type of way is manipulative and selfish. I don't disagree. But y'all taking each other's keys and laptops? I never thought you would do nothing like that, Halle. I never thought you would leave either. Guess I didn't know you at all. And nobody acting like anything. Whatever I decide to do is my decision. Don't feel sad either. It's cool. You literally told me to leave. This push and pull shit you keep doing is childish. You keep threatening to leave me alone and saying that you can FW somebody else. I'm not sticking around for that. Mm. Oh, so this is August 23, 2022. Halle, bet. I'm going to call you one more time. Daryl's iPhone. Phone is on airplane mode. I'm not letting you ruin my day over this BS. The trust issues are becoming overwhelming. Maybe that's for the best. I put in too much time and effort into making you happy to have to deal with this BS on every other day. And in your eyes, you're never wrong. It's frustrating and I'm over it. I'm no longer entertaining this argument. I need to work on becoming more successful like Jay-Z, like you said. Then maybe you will take my vision of becoming a big label owner serious instead of uh, shitting on my dreams every second that you get. Halle, you don't want to be with me. That's okay. I will never beg anyone. I will be successful. I do not need to be with someone who's going to demean me. You like that I'm insecure. It makes you feel good about yourself. I'm not doing this anymore. Keep your phone on airplane mode. But when oh Lord, when I die, don't say shit. Don't come to my funeral or anything. F you. Be happy these are the last texts you get from me. That's 8:23, 12:35. Then 12:39. Crazy how the one person I thought I could trust and be there for me constantly proves me wrong. You are wrong. You know that emotionally I struggle and have a hard time, yet when I am obviously going through something, you ignore me until I go crazy. You throw in my face my insecurities and laugh about it. You put your phone on airplane mode and say you're not dealing with it. But when something bad happens, don't say anything. Because this was my attempt to beg you to listen to me, just to answer the phone, just to hear me, to try and understand where I'm coming from. But you don't. And you'll regret it. You'll regret ever meeting me. Go back to the B's you're used to. Go back to the effing thoughts. That's what you want. You never wanted anyone like me. You and your family hate me. Just admit it. But that's okay. Everyone does, but Poseidon. Who is Poseidon? Oh, y'all got me in these kids' mess. Got me in these kids' mess. Hey, Melly. Ooh, child. Well, DDG is a clown. Why didn't he drop all of this evidence when he was going on a smear campaign? Don't know. Yes. He has been just harassing this girl online. It's so many questions, so many questions. I don't know. Hey, Mr. YouTube 92. Most abusive relationships are bidirectional. So both of them having accounts of the other being abusive sounds about right. I wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't disagree. Thank you so much for your comment. Nish 67 said he's a narcissist. That's the behavior. He can't control her no more. Why he never reported it back then? You contacted everyone but the police. Come on, man. Let's see. Ellie says manipulative. If it was him that preferred to have his mom as a go between, why did he make those little long trips to her house to see Halo uninvited? Yeah. Because I still can't get over the fact that you were in her house when she wasn't there, taking pictures of her bed to insinuate that there was a man in there. But if you all had broken up like you said you all had broken up, then that wouldn't be the business. But y'all answer me, who is Poseidon? You said, why does it seem so fake, the messages? It's a lot. It's a lot. See, I'm the person, I don't really like talking on the phone. And I will text you. We'll have a text stream, but when I get tired of texting, I'll give you a little thing like a little smiley or a heart or something like that, just to let you know, hey. And even if you don't answer my text, I don't go back and repeatedly text you over and over again. Tia says, Halle tried to establish a schedule for him getting Halo through DDG's mom. There are dates and times posted. DDG refused to get Halo from his mom, but said he would wait to get the baby. Mm. I believe that cut on his thumb is from H. Is it from Halle? Who was it cut from? That looks like he tried to snatch a necklace off her neck. You talking about the cut on her thumb? So here's what I'm thinking. Why is this even important? Because of the fact, because the initial restraining order that Halle presented and got and was granted expired today. I guess at 12 a.m. it expires today. We also know that Halle is supposed to go to Italy starting this weekend to film for a couple of months, and she stated to the court that she was taking a nanny and somebody else to assist her with Halo. So she's going to be gone for a couple of months. So he's wanting to prevent her leaving out of town with the baby. Now, is this in an effort to keep her from going to her job? She's going to have to go. It's going to be either that she leaves and she leaves the baby here, or what have you. I don't know. Someone said in the comments earlier that the judge denied this, but they're supposed to have a court hearing pretty soon. Tia. Tia. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, 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 yeah. That sounds okay. I see you, Tia. I see you. Oh, I don't know. The judge hasn't changed the previous order. Okay. Yes, he did. Because she said that she was presenting the ring camera footage to the courts. So they have the ring camera footage, if I'm not mistaken. Everyone in the comments seems pro Halle when it shouldn't be a pro Halle or pro DDG. Clearly, these two have a mutually abusive relationship. Yeah, it should be pro Halo. And I saw on there, because they're gonna keep this up. Because I was trying to think about this has been a long time ago. Very, and I want to say this happened either in the 90s or the early 2000s. I can't remember what this couple was, but they were actors, and they were back and forth and back and forth and going back and forth, almost like they were just back and forth because I can't remember, they were like television stars or soap opera stars. I can't remember who they were, but they were going back and forth and going back and forth to the point that they were being so toxic and nasty to each other. And I think they had one or two kids. And you know, the only thing that stopped them from cutting up so bad, that the judge was like, both of y'all can't keep this kid. It was one or two kids, and he put those kids in care. And the backlash that they got, because people were like, you all got all of this money and all of this stuff, y'all are going back and forth and back and forth, and the judge had to take the children. And I don't think the children, they were in care for what, maybe a week or 2 weeks. But when I tell you, them folks from the Caucasus Mountains straightened up so quickly. Her cat. Oh, Halle's cat is Poseidon. Oh. Because I was about to say, because you know where my mind is? My mind is on Little Mermaid, and Poseidon was her dad. And I was like, well, who played Poseidon? My mind just went poof, went way over there. Thank you. All right, y'all are just having a little tete-a-tete in the comments. I'm going to continue. Let's see. I will go and fly and be just fine in heaven without any of this, without any of your rude people making me feel bad about myself. And you can show these texts to whoever you want. Laugh about it. Laugh about it now. Goodbye. I was in the shower. If you want to talk, you can talk to me in person. Instead of eating food without me, and I never eat without making sure you eat first. Okay, I'm leaving. The doors are locked. You can come and get Poseidon and your laptop and stuff tomorrow. Hold on. I thought she took the laptop. So he went and got her laptop and her car keys and her cat? I'm going to go home. I just want to resolve it so I can get some sleep, please. You don't even have to talk to me again, but I can't breathe right now. I'm just so stupid. This whole thing is so stupid. I want to die. I never want to be here again. I hate this. I hate this all. I hate this life. Please stop taking this to this extreme. I tried begging my only friend to help me. I'm still communicating with you. You won't help me. I'm so tired. I'm in pain. And I don't want to do this anymore every day. You lie on me to your mama. That's why I said we need to take time apart. You make it seem like I'm this horrible person, even though I've cleared up everything. Just leave me to die. I will be fine. Because you cause me pain. You are selfish. I've been crying nonstop because of you. I can't be here anymore. Ooh, child. You're sick. You push everyone away who really tried to love you. I tried really hard to fight for this relationship. I can't do this with you anymore when you constantly are purposely throwing me into the fire. Daryl, okay, block me. I just asked for understanding. I'm done texting. Do what you got to do. If I die, you wouldn't even care. Like, I'm done texting. Do what you got to do. Exactly. I would you just tripping and keep threatening to kill my unborn son. You're weird. I wouldn't feel safe having a child with you at this point. Stop being fake happy to be a mom. Weird. Now, all of this happened. This is 6:23. So all of this happened at 6:28:23. And then we're getting text from 3:21:24. So this is a whole different text thread. Weird. Okay, now DDG. Because this goes like almost 6 to 8 months after that you've done this particular text, then come back and say, because he said you're weird in this text. And then it starts with her saying, weird. I've had enough. I don't want to talk to you ever again. Please don't contact me. If you need to contact me, please reach out to my sister or Shemay. Haley, I hate you. You're the most horrible person I've ever met. I wish I didn't have to fight with you, but you continue to let me down every time. And something about exchanging my son in a money deal for views. And Ren, I'm assuming this talked about exchanging my son in a money deal for views and openly flirt, help every other woman in the world but me. You hate me and want me to die. I want to die because of you. I will die because of you. Damn, Haley. It's your fault. Cry about it later. Why do you want me to sit on the phone and listen to you yell at me all day? I'm sorry, y'all. But that would have been my response. Because don't all caps mean that you're screaming? You do this to me every day. She says, I beg you for help. Now, this is concerning because she's gotten 3 or 4 text messages where she's begging for help. Now, I am aware and understand that she talked about having postpartum and all of these little different things. I do understand that. I'm just saying, to me, this is so concerning. If you're texting all of this, why wasn't there why didn't you call her mama? Why didn't you call her daddy? Why didn't you call her godmother? Why didn't you call Chloe? Because Chloe is ride or die about her sister. Why not call these people to let them know that she is doing this? You know, I don't have anyone. I'm actively suicidal and struggling. You know, I've been running to the doctor every day for help. And you still play in my face? I won't make it to my birthday because of you. You have ruined me and all my happiness. You hang up when I'm begging for help. You're the only help I had something to have. And you're so focused on being famous and having money when you don't even see what's in front of you. How would you? How could you go to Mexico and be with someone else? How could you openly talk about me and see this and this texting? This is that rapid texting, y'all, that you can't even get the words out. And all women you want to sleep with. And I can listen, y'all. I can definitely tell because she had that baby in December of 2023, and here we are in March of 2024. Yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. I mm. And this is all March 2024. Any chance I had of a good life and putting myself back together, and you continue to ignore us, me and your son are all alone. You don't care about us anymore. You never did. Daryl, you want to prune yourself from the timeline because I tweeted Sexy Red a good rapper? This literally makes no sense. Then she sent him a meme. You won't. Everyone is against me. Now this is okay, Daryl. Because see, I like for things to be in order. And now this is 321. And then you go back to February 9th, 2023. So this is a whole different text message, but you have them running like they're a continuous thread. Okay. You won't. Everyone is against me. I can't. I'm embarrassed and humiliated and tired. No one understands how I feel. I tried. Hurting yourself won't fix anything. The internet is irrelevant. It's fixed already. Just leave me alone. Stop thinking about that. Don't ever try to contact me again. This is okay. Then we go back. Now this is 323. Now we go back to March 21st, 2024. I ain't gonna lie, Haley. Some of these text messages are concerning. This is proof. You leave me hanging as a mother. Okay. You don't step up when I need you to. I'm begging you. Because she looks like she wants some sleep. I just found out you slept with Lala in Mexico. Oh, Lord. She's now, y'all, and however you feel about that, it's very concerning when you keep talking about pruning yourself from the timeline. And this is not the first. There's been like 4 text conversations. We've seen 4 text conversations. And in 3 of those text conversations, her talking about pruning from the timeline is disconcerting. It's very concerning to me. Oh, Lord, she is going. Let's see what you all are talking about. Exactly. This was, yes. Yes, I believe this. I believe this. And that's why I'm saying that if all of this was going on, why were there no conversations with people who, because Chloe gets on the internet and said that she's the best sister in the whole wide world. Why were there no conversations with Chloe about this? They have a godmother that's very influential, and I think that lives in California with them. Was there a telephone call to this woman? She has parents in Atlanta, from what I understand. Was there not a conversation in regards to this? You called her doctor once. You didn't call the doctor again? And all of this is going on, and Halo was in her physical custody. That wasn't concerning of you? Where are the I am so confused as to where everybody was. I mean, I know getting this information is salacious and I know information, but y'all, this is very concerning when I'm hearing that all of this is going on. They broke up in November 2024. Yes. According to a TRO. Okay. Yeah. And I agree that both of these young people, and this is where it is so important, as when you're younger, that you have somebody outside of this. So if you've got you and your boyfriend, there needs to be somebody else. Not that you're just going to be dumping your issues and problems, but when there's a time when you're feeling blue, that there's somebody that you can go and sit. I mean, even if it's something just simple as going over to somebody, your friend's house, and sitting on a couch. You know what I mean? Just sitting, because sometimes people's disposition gets better if they're just around or surrounded by people who care about them. And I just, this is very disconcerting, these text messages and stuff like that. All right. Knowing I was here taking care of see, look at that. She's typing so fast. Knowing I was crying before you left, you selfish, disgusting, I guess that's supposed to be person, you're evil. I'm giving something your son. Daryl, you're making stuff up. Please, I don't want him around for this. Please take him from me. I don't want him to see me like this. I'm begging you. For Halo, please. I can't. Oh gosh. And this is like 11. She's, you talk about rapid texting. I'm not a good texter. I can't type this fast. And I have a I can text like if I text please take him from me before I do from, she's already texted like four different things going down. I don't want him to see me like this. I'm begging you for Halo, please. I can't for this anymore. I'm done. Knowing I poured my heart out to you before I left, you still went and effed her, and you can't own up to it. I hate you. You are evil. You want me to die. Y'all, and we are just on page 69. Please take Halo. I'm genuinely scared of you, man. I feel like you're going to kill me in my sleep one day. I'm not allowing you in my house around guns. Please just go home and I'll pick Halo up from there. Me or Halo are in the cold and you won't let us in your house. Are you serious? I'm not letting you in my house around guns. I'm here in my pajamas in the cold and you won't let us in your house. Wow, okay. I asked for help. I asked you to take Halo from me right now and you won't. Instead, you leave us in the cold. You will never hear from me again. It's not safe for you to be around guns. Please just go home and we'll figure it out later. There is no later. There was only now and you missed it. I called and texted 1,000 times. You can't tell me I didn't ask for your help in the height of my struggle. And I did, and you denied me over and over. To spend time at the club, left me outside in the cold outside of your house. We can never come back from this. You missed your chance to take Halo. We are leaving. As long as you don't hurt yourself, I'm cool with that. We'll figure it out later. I already started hurting myself. Congrats. You killed me. Evil, evil man. You never cared about me. You called my family. They're not going to help me. Okay. So there was a call to the family. I'm not answering anyone. I called you because I needed to speak to you. And now you've made it worse. You never cared about me or loved me. It was all a lie. You've treated me like S on the ground. I didn't deserve this. I tried my hardest. I want to leave. I want to be happy. Now, this is a text message. Let me go back because, okay, this is 3/21/24. So now we're in a text message in August. Okay, you've treated me like S on the ground. I don't deserve this. I tried my hardest. I want to live. I want to be happy. I don't want to die, but I don't know what else to do. I've tried. I'm reaching out to you for help, to please come get your son because I am not okay. I'm not okay and don't want him to be around me like this. So there is text that she's asking for him to come to get the son. But he's saying that she was restricting his access to the son. So I'm trying to figure out which one is it. Can it be two things at the same time? Y'all let me know in the comments. I am not okay and I don't want him to be around me like this. I don't know what else to do. You've hurt me too bad. You made everything so much worse. I don't want Halo to be around me like this. Then 10:44, I'm coming to get him. But then you come and you try to take him from me and say disrespectful S to me, like pack his bag, like I'm a dog. You've hurt me too bad. You've hurt me to my core. You've hurt me to my core. Please just leave me alone. I'm not okay, and it's because of you. I'm not okay, and it's because of what you did. I'm not okay. Please just leave me alone. So can I get Halo or no, Haley? I'm tired of asking. I reached out for help multiple times. There's proof everywhere that I tried to reach out for help before I did this. I'm on the way, all ready to get Halo. So this is 8:48. So she's still texting him. I tried, so I did everything I could. I loved you the best that I could. I thought me having your child will prove to you my commitment and loyalty to you. And that's where you went completely and utterly wrong. Ladies, please listen to me. Having babies for men does not mean that they're going to stay with you. They tell you this, and I don't know why. Having babies alters everything about who you are. Your body, the way you think, the way you move in this world. And you think having a baby is going to make a man stay with you? Absolutely, positively not. It's not going to do that. But you went behind my back, and now my son will have a broken home. The home was broken already. There wasn't a home. So this is where I need for you all to hear me where I come from, okay? And to hear my thought, the process of thinking. You all use words that don't mean what they mean. You want them to mean things. You say, I am his wife, but you're his girlfriend. You say that I am her husband, I'm her man, when you are her boyfriend. You all just had a baby together. And if you all both were not agreeable to have these babies together, the home was broken. There is no home. Now you got all this toxicity, you got all this violence, you got this woman going through postpartum. You see them online perpetrating frauds, like everybody is so happy. In the meantime, she is struggling because this sounds like she didn't have the help that we think that she has with her sister, with her godmother, with her parents, with all the other people. Mm-hmm. But you went behind my back, and now my son will have a broken home. I tried so hard. I did everything I could up until this point. Why do I have to do something drastic for anyone to take me seriously? You will miss me when I'm gone. I'm tired. I've been alone in this apartment for 6 days, every day in my bed. I have gone crazy in this room. And I understand this, particularly for young mothers, and it doesn't matter if you're a young mother or a middle-aged mother or an old mother. This gets tiring, and this is why it's so important that you ladies have help, because I know this gets exhausting when you don't sleep. Your sleep patterns are off because the baby doesn't sleep like you sleep. You have the baby sleeping all day, and then you're up with the baby all day, and then you're tired, and then when you go to bed you've got a baby that's wide awake. And then your feedings, it's difficult for you all to get a little moment for yourself, even to take a bath. And gentlemen, this is what I'm to say, is that this is why you all are so important, to be there, to be that respite. You're not a babysitter because that's your child. Babysitters are people taking care of your children that are not the actual parents. Parents can't babysit their children. But ladies, when you have babies with people who are not caring about your well-being and stuff like this is what happens. Because you wanted to have this baby thinking that was going to keep him near this baby, and that's not what inevitably happens. Society says you're the mama. You take care of the baby. But what society doesn't talk about is all the things that as women you have to do to be able to take and care for that baby, and also take care and care for yourself. Now, I'm not making excuses. We're just talking real here because it just appears that this is some stuff. Please just leave me alone. You've done enough. So this is like the last text messages that we see. So this is declaration of George Charleston. So this is Daryl's phone. Stop talking like you're going to hurt yourself or Halo. And she says, this is 8585. I would never hurt my child ever. I'm simply not tough enough for this world. Please take Halo so he doesn't have to see. I'm not okay. My heart is broken. I can't pretend everything is okay. I've asked for help so many times, too many times. I feel like I'm drowning. You never cared about me, not once in my life. You lied to me about loving me. You never did. I'm just too heartbroken. Please just leave me alone. I'll be gone soon, and then you can be free. I'm exhausted. I can't keep up anymore. I won't. You didn't talk about Halo for more than 2 minutes. That whole conversation was about girls. Okay, there we go. Mixing stuff. I'm working. I don't know what to tell you. And this is this year. Okay, this is this year. Every day I want to, and so we've got her talking, y'all. We've got her talking like this in 2023, 2024, and 2025. Just keeping a perspective here. Every day I want to die because of the way you embarrass me online and allow other women to speak to me. I keep going because of how much I love our son. He says, I have 40,000 in bills every month. I have no choice but to work. And how much I know he needs me. And so this is interesting. Message is a reply to thread. Every day I want to die because of the way you embarrass me online. Allow other women to speak to me. Okay. Send me a clip of a girl disrespecting you. Message is a reply to thread. Every day I want to, okay. I give you 10K if you can. You constantly hurt me and then try to say I'm wrong for asking for support. I just thought we'd do what I wanted to do today since it's Mother's Day. Okay. Let me stop. This is where I want to get to. All right. Make sure y'all on whatever respective platform, y'all are hitting that like button, hitting that heart, or supplying me with the bit from Twitch. So this is this year. Now, this is supposed to be when she's out for Mother's Day, right? She was responding to a post with one of these tweets that he made on social media. Okay. They were still together. Okay. Low key, they were just like Krishan and Blueface. Didn't they go on a double date with them? Just, ooh, you know how I feel about birds of a feather, y'all. That's what's confusing to me. I thought he said she took the laptop. Because, you know, it was like she took a laptop and then she said the laptop was broke. And then he said, well, I got the laptop. I got your laptop. I got your keys. So they're just going back and forth to each other's places, just taking each other's crap. Stuff, excuse me. Me too. And it's not. And that's why when you see Halo, he looks shell shocked. Just being real. And I don't care if he's with his mom or with his dad, he just looks shell shocked. And she may be. And like I said, they're not giving, they're giving all of her texts. And I don't know if he realizes it or not. It appears like he's ignoring her. Because, and again, I know she's doing all of this rapid texting, but it seems like that's just how she does, because it's just like all of this rapid texting at 5:33. And then he didn't view it until 10 p.m. So let's see. we have to accept and make peace with our actions. Don't. That's true. We do have to make peace, but we also have to understand too that everyone, that we all have to. Some of us can go through life and we're very independent, and we can do all the things that we need to do. There's some of us that go through life that need other people and need to have a good friend group, a good such and such group, all of these different things. All of that to say is everybody is not the same. All right. However, you could be someone who is very independent, but then you give birth and every hormone in your body is raging, and you're having an over influx of one hormone to and a decrease to another hormone that will change the way you think, the way you move, the way you do all of these different things. And when you have something like this, it's so important. And I don't care what stage of your life, and I don't care how you matriculate through this world, it is so important that you have a group. You have a group. It's important. No one is an island to themselves. Even the most introverted person in the world, I have a group that I can pick up and talk and do everything like that. So it's very important to have that. And particularly if you're talking about having children. Whew. Let's get back to Mother's Day. I just thought we'd do what I wanted to do today since it's Mother's Day. But if you really wanna go, you can. I'll just go home and pack. Hello? If you don't come back here, I'm going to call the police. I don't want you to do something stupid. Now, this is okay. Hold on, y'all. Okay, this is 2025. This is around Mother's Day 2024. So Halo would have been about 6 months, 5 or 6 months. If you don't come back here, I'm going to call the police. I don't want you to do something stupid. I'm going to give it 5 minutes. You have a son. I know you took my gun. Ooh. That gun has no safety. It's trash. Oh, I have so many questions. And then he has a message that he deleted at 10:02. As a gun owner, this is a no bueno. This right here, this gun doesn't have a safety. This is a no bueno. Those are the type, and especially if you have children in a home, this is not a weapon that needs to be anywhere near you or in your house or anything like that. If you have that and you're part of a gun club where they allow for you to store your weapons, that weapon should be someone there, or you should go ahead and dispose of that weapon. Put it down. That's nothing to play with. And then she sends a picture of Halo. See how he looks shell-shocked. You're going to him through life. You're going to have life without a mom. I have to call the police. I can't let this happen. And then it's like, I tried calling. It's just weird. You wouldn't think to check on if we made it safely. This is my point. After a day like yesterday and the things you said to me, you are just not capable of showing me any affection or love. I call and you send me to voicemail like I'm disturbing you, like I'm just a fly that's in your way. Okay, so this is a declaration of his mother. I, Tanya Granberry, declare and state as follows. I am the mother of Daryl Dwayne Granberry, the respondent in the above entitled matter. I make this declaration based on my personal knowledge, and if called as a witness, I could and would testify competently to the facts stated herein. I reside in Los Angeles, California. I'm closely involved in my son's life, as is my fiance, Jules Charleston, who also serves as my son's driver. Both George and I were involved in identifying and locating multiple air tags that were secretly placed in Daryl's vehicles. The first air tag was discovered in June 2023 in Daryl's Maybach. Daryl called me that night stating that petitioner Halle Bailey had showed up uninvited to a movie theater in Beverly Hills where he was attending a film with a female friend. Petitioner called me directly that night, angrily stating that she knew Daryl was at the movies and made threats to F him up. George and I drove to the theater out of concern for Daryl's safety. When we arrived, we saw Petitioner outside the theater, visibly upset and attempting to confront and physically fight the woman he was with. I personally intervened to help de-escalate the situation. Man. Y'all, was this on a stream? Did they post this incident on a stream anywhere? Or they let this kind of go underground? The next day, George, Daryl, and I thoroughly searched the Maybach and found an Apple AirTag hidden beneath the back seat. The discovery clarified for us all as to how the petitioner had tracked Daryl's location to the movie theater. A few days later, George received similar AirTag alerts while driving Daryl's Cadillac Escalade. Although we initially could not find the device, the alerts persisted. We searched the vehicle repeatedly and eventually located a second AirTag in the back of the Escalade. Approximately 2 to 3 weeks later, yet another AirTag was found in the Escalade, this time concealed inside a vitamin bottle. Again, George Phones was receiving AirTag trapping alerts while driving. After persistent searching, Daryl located the device hidden in the bottle. A fourth AirTag was found on April 2024 at the birth of Daryl's son. I thought Halo was born in 2023. Okay. After the birth of Daryl's son's Halo. I personally found this device inside the baby's diaper bag. Okay, so we've all agreed that that wasn't a bad AirTag. Hidden underneath the internal cardboard lining. This device was a different model, one commonly marketed for use with pets. I took a photograph of this AirTag, which is attached to this declaration as Exhibit 6. Each of these discoveries involved Daryl, George, and me working together to locate the devices. George would receive alerts and we would search the vehicle until the AirTags were physically recovered. In January 2025, George and I moved into Daryl's home. While helping clean and organize the house, I discovered a box of unused Apple AirTags in a drawer in Daryl's bedroom. These had been left behind by petitioner who had lived in the home on and off both before and during her pregnancy. She moved out shortly after the baby was born in December 2023. The box of AirTags remains in Daryl's possession. Is it me? Is it me? So there's a box of AirTags in DDG's room where he lays his head at night, and he didn't notice these AirTags. Let me go back. In January 2025, George and I moved into Daryl's home. While helping clean and organize the house, I discovered a box of unused Apple AirTags in a drawer in Daryl's bedroom. These had been left behind by the petitioner. How do you know this? Because somebody in the comments, and y'all let me know, y'all were saying that the AirTags with the AirTags don't ping on your phone unless you put them on your phone. Was that what you were saying? Because I hadn't used an AirTag. I don't know anything about this technology. I understand that it exists. I just don't know how it works. So it seems like it defeats the purpose of the technology if everybody's phone can ping that there is an AirTag. Is there some kind of app that lets you know that an AirTag is in your car or in your place or in your stuff? Because honestly, I don't know about all of this other stuff. So that means that she had to have been in the Escalade, in the Maybach, in the other car to place all of these things in. But then you leave a whole box of quote unquote unused Apple AirTags. And mama, you found this in the drawer of your son's, in a drawer of your son's. Because someone can easily say, well, you found them in a drawer. They must be his because they were in his possession. Y'all help me out. The repeated placement of these tracking devices established a clear and deliberate pattern of unauthorized surveillance and stalking of Daryl by petitioner. These actions caused Daryl significant emotional distress and concern for his safety, particularly given the threatening behavior I personally witnessed at the movie theater incident. And so she does this under the penalty of perjury. Let's continue. So what is this? Okay, so this is a waterproof AirTag cat collar, breakaway cat AirTag collar, because you all said Poseidon was a cat, luminous and reflective fish pattern, lightweight kitten collar, Apple AirTag, hidden GPS tracker holder for cats, for kittens. Okay. And so this is the one that they said that they found in the bag. Okay. That's a copy of it. Okay. This is from George Charleston. Let's see what he says. I, George Charleston, declare and state as follows. I am over 18 years old and the fiance of Tanya Granberry, who is the mother and respondent of Daryl Dwayne Granberry Jr. I have personal knowledge of the matter set forth herein, and if called as a witness, I could and would competently testify. He says, I regularly serve as Daryl's driver and have been present during multiple occasions in which Apple AirTags were discovered in Daryl's vehicles and belongings. To my knowledge, these devices were not placed in the vehicles by Daryl or with his knowledge, as he repeatedly informed me. I personally received repeated notifications from my iPhone indicating that an unknown AirTag was moving with me while driving his vehicles. In June 2023, at a theater in Beverly Hills, I observed petitioner Halle Bailey confronting Daryl and a female companion. Earlier that evening, I overheard petitioners speaking to my fiance, Tanya, on the phone. I overheard petitioner tell Tanya that she was going to confront and physically attack Daryl and his companion. As a result of this call, Tanya and I drove to the theater and saw petitioner attempting to fight Daryl's female companion. Following the above stated incident, Daryl informed me that he was concerned and confused about how petitioner knew his whereabouts. The following day, we searched his Maybach and located an Apple AirTag hidden beneath one of the rear seats. Daryl removed and discarded it. After a few days later, I received an AirTag notification on my phone while driving Daryl's Cadillac Escalade. At that time, I was unfamiliar with AirTags and thought my phone might be malfunctioning. After this happened repeatedly that day, I informed Tanya. We called Daryl and told him we believe another AirTag was in his car. Following this call, Tanya and I met with Daryl, who was attending a studio session. The three of us searched the Escalade, but could not locate the AirTag. Tanya and I returned home by Uber, leaving the Escalade at the studio. Later that evening, Daryl called us to confirm that he had found the second AirTag in the back of the vehicle. Approximately 2 to 3 weeks later, I received yet another AirTag alert on my phone while in the Escalade. Tanya and I searched again. This time, Daryl found the device hidden inside a vitamin bottle in the back of the truck. Following that discovery, Daryl began to leave the Escalade at home and use other vehicles in his effort to avoid being tracked. I could tell that Daryl was emotionally distraught over the fact that he was being tracked. He described it to me as an invasion of his privacy and felt like he was being stalked. Daryl told me this was particularly disturbing when he would remain at the house only to have petitioner inexplicably show up. In April of 2024, I received yet again another AirTag alert. Upon inspection, Daryl and I discovered that the AirTag was hidden in a baby's diaper bag. This device was tucked beneath the cardboard liner at the base of the bag. I took a photo of it and later researched the model online. It was an animal tracking AirTag specifically used for pets. The diaper bag containing the AirTag had traveled between Daryl and the petitioner. I believe the petitioner used this method to track Daryl's movements when he was with the baby. On January 2025, Tanya and I moved into Daryl's home. While helping clean and organize the house, Tanya discovered a box of unused Apple AirTags in a drawer in Daryl's bedroom. These were left behind by petitioner who had previously been living in the home on and off prior to and during her pregnancy. She moved out shortly after the baby was born in December 2023. So, okay, now it's making better sense. I didn't realize that Halle and DDG were living together. Now, that I didn't realize. The box of AirTags remain in Daryl's possession. Based on my repeated experience receiving AirTag alerts and helping locate devices placed in Daryl's vehicles and belongings, I believe from the totality of facts set forth within this declaration that petitioner was using these tracking devices without Daryl's consent to monitor his locations and his movements. And he makes that declaration. And y'all, that's the end of this restraining order that is filed by DDG. Let's see what y'all are thinking about all of this. Halo's birthday is it was in December 22, 2023, because he just turned a year. She thought her sister was there for her, the blind. And then it makes you kind of think about, why did they go solo so quick? That's just the me. That's a me thought. Notice how DDG didn't call his mom about the concerning messages from Halle, but calling his mama about almost literally everything else. Interesting. DDG is calculated and manipulative. Ruby Rose said he was calling her while he was with Halle, and he was texting her too. And I remember seeing a clip of her talking about that and showing the text messages and stuff like that. And he made, and this was when this around during the Little Mermaid press release or something like that. This is why Kennedy Simone turned her back on DDG after she broke up with him. She was pregnant as well. Not clear if there was an abortion or a miscarriage. Oh, who is Kennedy Simone? Tia, with T for me, because I don't know who this person is. Okay, she's pretty. I see. Did he propose to her? Okay. I proposed to her. Okay, let me show y'all what I'm looking at. I did a Google search of her, and then this picture. Let me move this out of the way. This picture came up, and I'm over here. If you see me, I'm looking at this. I proposed to her after 2 days, featuring Kennedy Simone, and so I'm thinking they did skits and YouTube things together. But she's a pretty girl. They look like they used to blog together. Okay, pretty girl. Oh, and so she had a baby. She was pregnant for him too. Interesting. Cheating does some things to women. And again, I need for y'all to understand and be very clear, particularly what's being told and fed to you. Again, I'm not trying to make anybody seem like a monster or thing, but it does affect. Some people don't have the bandwidth for all of that. Daryl is a narcissist. Wasn't he online talking to? Yes, he was. And I don't know if that's narcissistic or is that just something else. Acting like he was arguing with Halle regarding him seeing Halo. He's a mess, and unfortunately, she chose the wrong person to have a baby. Well, she chose him. She thought he was going to be faithful to her, but he chose her. She chose him. New Religion says, stop making excuses for this crazy lady. The dates don't add up. So what they're doing in this thing is that there are different, it's not in chronological order. However, the way that they're splicing it together, it seems like this one continual text thread. And it's not, it's several different text threads. And so, and I'm just curious as to, was it like this, just her just continually texting, or are we not seeing what he interjected in between there? Let's see. And instead of filing a response to her custody request and restraining order, he then starts to pretend he's now moving with this whole crew to Florida straight. And he had a whole thing, because I know I saw the clips from DreamCon where his brother was out there beating up somebody at the behest of DDG. And he wants to act like he's just like above it all. I'm like, this is craziness. This is what we do for content? I don't know. Crown Her says, how can he treat the mother of his child like this? This is really no excuse. Okay. Thanks for the comment. Andrea O. She popped up on him during a manic episode, but claimed she wanted a set schedule. She's definitely bipolar. Y'all are doing all this. I need to ask, did y'all have these degrees and these certifications to be diagnosing people? Because I saw the narcissism and I see the bipolar. What else we got? I don't like DDG, but I've dealt with a psycho just like her. It's scary. Wow. And I imagine that is, and particularly when it's just constant. And anything that you do when you're trying to help is perceived that you're not helping. I understand exactly what you're talking about. You know. Hi, Dadal. Hello, hello. Peanut Gallery. Where did she get this messaging from? You talking about where these messages are coming off the restraining order, and they're part of an exhibit that DD, I guess they got the messages from his phone. They got the messages and stuff off of his phone. Dominique says, New Religion, it sounds like postpartum depression. Dadal, I wonder if he's her first boyfriend. I don't know. That's interesting, but I don't know. I just subbed because I was listening. I genuinely respect your perspectives. Thank you so much, Kristen. Thank you so much for subbing and joining. I really do appreciate that. And those of you all that want to subscribe, please do. She had a baby to earn his love, Delulu. But you know, listen. There are a lot of us, even in my age group, going down below, there is a lot of people that put out this false messaging that if you have a baby with someone, it's going to change their perspective. It's going to change their life. And it does. But some people don't want that. And a lot of times you're told they don't want that. But there's a lot of us that give this messaging, and we give this messaging in via to you through religious organizations, through social organizations who you're hanging with and all this other stuff. We put out this message, but we don't put out the message of when you have a baby, this is a responsibility like no other. And because having a baby is a responsibility like no other, we don't talk about all the different stages of parenthood, from being pregnant to having an infant to having a toddler to having a little young person to a teenager, and then having through the stages of them going through adulthood. We don't talk about all those things. The only thing that we talk about is or we'll say, you'll have someone my age go to young girls and say, well, why you ain't got no baby yet? What you doing? You got this man, why you ain't got no baby yet? All of these kind of messagings trying to make you believe that having a baby because you have a boyfriend or any of those things is some kind of status. It's not. Now, don't mishear me. When you have your babies, they are gifts and you love your babies and you do whatever. I am just speaking to those of us in the community sending out these bad messages or having girls to think that, oh, I need to have this baby with him, because if I have a baby with him, he'll stay in this relationship. Or sometimes you have guys saying, oh, well, I'm going to get her pregnant. That way I know that I can control and do all these little different things. Because we get these bad messaging from this, we get bad messaging about children. When going forward, if you hear my voice, when you talk about having babies, make sure that you are in a solid relationship. Hopefully that you're married and you understand that children are not just weapons to use to try to get back at this person and that children are your legacy. And how do you want your legacy to look going forward? Do you want your children to be shell shocked every time they see their mom and daddy crying and fussing and cussing and fighting and hitting and screaming at each other and picking up pew-pews and going outside into the thing? Or are you getting online having arguments with AIs that have the voice of the woman that's had a baby for you? For some people, there's a high level of responsibility when you have sex with somebody. I'm just going to put it like that. But again, children are your legacy. They are not your weapons. They are not your plaything. Children are your legacy. And you have to be very careful about who you want to procreate with for that legacy. And I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah, the timeline of those text messages, they're not in order. In order to read those text messages, you're going to have to take them and put them in chronological order to be able to understand what's going on. So it's a lot. But the gist of it is that these two young people are violent. Do I take live calls? No, but let me see, what time is it? I don't take live calls. Let me see. But if you want to come up and talk about this in this case, I'm very open to it. Let me do this. There you go. I put it down in the chat. If you want to come up and have a conversation, come on up. I'm not in no hurry about anything today, because I would be interested to hear, because I know that a lot of you all are probably between the ages of 20 and probably 45. I would be more than happy to listen to see what you all young folks think about everything. So it's there in the chat. And if you wanna come up, come on up. Because this is a mess. This is a mess. I think one day I'm gonna get on here and do spaces, because I think we can have, in that, like, you can talk to each other in regards to that. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna give you about 5 more minutes. And if you want to come up, come on up. It's in the chat. Oh, it says Wicked Part 2. A trailer has come out. I haven't seen Wicked the first part. I guess I need to sit down and watch it. I just know the songs. Only if she gave consent, and I doubt that happened. If it was true, she can decide to end her own pregnancy. Okay, here's the first thing. There is no proof she took pills. People are so quick to believe everything he says. He has lied on her before. Okay. She bled because she took the pills. I work in women's care and we prescribe the med. I know exactly what she took. Hmm. Now, in what he wrote, he said he called. He called the doctor, not her. It said that he called the doctor. That's why we paused. Like, would the doctor come on and talk to him? Yeah. Let me go back through there, because let me make sure I have the wording right. Because it was like he said that he called. Oh. Let me do this. Gravity. Oh, where was it? Give me one moment. He talked about the EPA hair tags, racial slurs, talked about his masculinity, illegal firearm. It says here, okay. On June 23rd, hold on, let me share the screen. So here we are, number 13. It says on June of 2023, I discovered petitioner attempted to terminate the pregnancy without my knowledge or consent, regardless of our prior discussions to parent the child together. On or about June 6, 2023, petitioner contacted me complaining that she was bleeding and in pain. In my effort to assist, I contacted her OBGYN and learned that petitioner had taken had attempted to abort the baby but failed to take the second abortion dose. Let's see. Got you. Makes good sense to me. Hmm. Crisscross 77 says that a lot of women take no accountability, and that's why they can only see the woman as the victim. Okay. Interesting. Thank you so much, Chris, for your comment. All right, people. Ah, we've got someone. Hello there, Miss Spicer. Come, come, come. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well. What you got for me?
Yeah, so as I was saying in the chat, I work in women's healthcare. I actually
Mm,
own my own diagnostic ultrasound imaging studio here in Georgia for the last 5 years. What
okay.
we do, how this works, is that when you do have a partner that's either present with you at the visit or even when you're filling out your HIPAA information, there's a little section on there about who you give consent to for us to share medical information with you. Most
Okay.
of with them, most of the time a partner is going to put on that paperwork that they want their partner to be privy to their medical information, especially in the case that they are no longer able to answer for themselves. We have to be able
Got
to
you.
communicate with someone. So that's probably how that happens. The
Okay.
other thing is that when you are having an emergency situation like bleeding and pain, he absolutely did the right thing by calling the OBGYN. If A, she was coming off as too distraught to handle it herself, and he called, and that's when they said, most likely what happened was they said, well, she's supposed to be bleeding because she took pills that would cause bleeding to abort the baby. But that is a 2 round medication. You take
Hmm.
one, um, you take one before and then you wait like 5, 6 hours and then take the next one. And she never took the second one, but the bleeding had already started. So they just probably just told him that information, not realizing that she had requested that medicine without his knowledge.
Got you. Oh, thank you so much for enlightening us to let me know. Because I was like, he called, he called and they gave the information. Do you know what the name of, well, I guess, I don't know if you want to
Yeah,
say it
well,
out on the stream.
I'm not gonna mention the name of the medication. For one, it's illegal in a lot of states right now. I don't know
Got
what
you.
state that she asked for this, but here in Georgia, it is illegal, and we can only prescribe it in the event that we've already confirmed there is no heartbeat to allow
Hmm.
for mom to go ahead and miscarry. So
Got you.
yeah, so I won't mention the name of the medication because people can't get it on
Thank
the
you.
black market. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I really appreciate you clearing that up for us because, like I said, I looked at that. I'm older, so you all young people go through a lot of stuff that I didn't have to go through. So I didn't know some of these things, but I knew about HIPAA, and I knew I was like,
Right.
wow, he called, and it sounded weird, and I stopped, but I kept going. But I do appreciate you letting me know. So what we know is if you've given consent for the provider to talk to your mate, to your guy, your husband, or anything like that, he definitely can call and ask for assistance about what's going on or anything like that. I
Yeah.
appreciate you to letting us know.
You're
What you got?
welcome.
Any other insights for us?
Just generally, just like on the overall situation, I do believe that Halle can be a little pop offish. She has admitted it herself. She also has openly admitted that she will start drumming in her relationship for no good reason. I just watched a video of her saying that. So I do
Hmm.
believe that, but I also do believe that he's wrong too. I believe that he wasn't a good choice for her. I said that from the beginning, but sometimes you are really attracting who you are. And you have chosen that person because there's something that resonates within you with that person. You didn't choose them for no reason. She didn't just pick a hot boy out of the clear blue sky. It's just
Right.
that what we're being presented is way different to maybe the layers of who she is. And we all have layers. We all have
Right.
who we present. We all have our versions of our best selves. And then we have the versions of ourselves that aren't so great. And that's okay. We're multifaceted people and individuals and beings. That's fine. So both of them can be wrong. Both of them made a grave error in choosing each other, I would say, because it sounds like neither one of them are healthy enough to be functioning as parents and in a committed relationship. And that's just the bottom line. And guess what? It's still okay. They both just need to evolve and grow and become better. What she was trying to avoid by having her reputation ruined, it just delayed the inevitable. It's this how she out here acting. Period. Point blank.
Yeah, because
End of
I
story.
remember seeing a clip, and like I said, I didn't see the whole video, but it looked like an Instagram post with her and her sister. They were sitting, and she was talking like, I can be mouthy, I can do this, don't let this good girl
Right.
image fool you. I remember that clip, and I
Right.
was like,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
okay, I
Yeah, and
mean,
that's all right. Shoot, we all can have a little mouth if given the right opportunity to express it. Most of us can, especially as Black women.
exactly,
At the end of the day, it can happen to anyone. So I just want, as what I hate is that it is happening out in the open, but I do believe it's a great opportunity to have open, honest dialogue about how Black people and Black couples are interacting with each other. There's a lot of
right.
unhealed hurt and unresolved issues, and how all of us are being raised or not being raised that's causing this fallout, and it's rampant in our communities. And we need to have honest conversation about
And I do agree with that, and a lot of times I sit and I talk and I said, well, it's about time, where I'm very particular about us using words and things like that, and then using these words incorrectly, trying to mean something else. And I think a lot of times we get out here and think, oh, well, if he says, I hear a lot of young people talking about, well, he's not doing this, he's not calling back, he's not trying to be loyal, he's not going to be faithful, he's not trying to do all of these different things that he needs to be doing for me. And I'm thinking, oh Lord, girl, no, baby, you can't make a person do anything for you. You can't make them be your husband,
it. Say it
with
again.
your
Trying to
boyfriend
put people trying to put people in positions that they have not
that
earned
they
or
have.
expressed that they would like to be in. You can't do that.
You can't do that, and you can't call him. You can't say he's your husband when there's nothing to show that he hadn't even asked you to marry him. How is he your husband? She can't be your wife. You can't sit and
Mm,
manipulate and want somebody to have a baby, and then you trying to control her every move or everything. You
yeah.
can't do these. These are things that you should not be doing. Again, if
No.
you think about your legacy, who do you want to share your legacy with? I hope that would make you think more about than whether or not, because you're lonely and you want to be with somebody and you don't want that person to leave. And if you think that having a baby, or both on both sides, manipulating each other to have a baby, you think that that's going to make that other person stay with you. It's not. It's not.
It's
And then you
not.
have,
And I think at the end of the day, at this point, the only person that really matters is Halo.
right.
And I feel like we need to get Halo out of there. Period. Point blank. Neither of these people are mature enough or healthy enough to be trying to raise them, and this is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Let's throw it out on the string that DDG made up all these text messages. Then he not healthy for Halo. And let's say on the strength that is true, that she really did do all this and say all this, Halo is not safe with her. That's just the bottom line. So I think sometimes we're losing a little bit of sight and focus and trying to
Right.
pick a side versus looking at all angles of this, seeing who, there's always blame to go around in most situations like this. So it's not
Right.
about who's right or who's wrong. It's overall, this is not good. It's not healthy. And now the whole streets know about it. And now we
Um.
all thought Halle was our little princess and not so much.
Hmm.
And it is
and
what it
he's
is, but she
and he's
human.
on streams arguing with an AI, and that don't look too.
That's crazy too. Both these people need their butt whooped at the end of the day. They need a good spanking.
I mean, and with a good old stern talking, just good stern. I
A
had mentioned
good
earlier.
grandmama to sit them down.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. Because I was just listening, when I was going through this, I can't remember the name of the couple, but it was back in like the late 90s, early 2000. And this couple, they had two children, and they were celebrities, but I think they were like on television. I can't remember, because if I could see them, then I know who I'm talking about. But they were going back and forth, back and forth. He does this. He's a drunk. She's an addict. She's this. They're going back and forth and back and forth. And they went into court, and it was so much mess on both sides. The judge was like, give me them two kids.
That
Give me
part.
them two kids. And he took them two kids, and I think those kids was in care for maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. And if you would have seen the way that they switched on a dime, because as long as they had all that feedback and people were they were back and forth, everybody was, but he took them kids, and I mean, they switched on a dime. And then next thing you know, they're healthy co-parenting people and all of this stuff. And they just, and I was just thinking, now it seems like there had to be a paradigm shift within their lives, with the judge taking those children for them to see, okay, both of y'all are looking crazy and stupid. And so I don't know if that is going to be the situation with them, but these two do need a big paradigm shift on how they're dealing with each other. If she's got these issues of being alone and all these things, she needs to go get some help in regards to that. If he's got some issues with, or centering around him being a father and do things, they all need to get down and get some counseling, family counseling, whatever it is that they need to do it, and they need to do it now. Because I'm telling you, the only person that's really going to be hurt tremendously is Halo. And
Yeah.
that baby looks shell shocked every time I see him. He just looking like, Lord.
Yeah, like what's gonna happen next? Who's gonna say something crazy next? Hundred
I don't
percent. He
know.
definitely is like, what is going on? So all those facial expressions he be doing, he really be like, I don't know what bag y'all about to come out on me. So let me lay low. But to your point about couples feeding off of attention, again, Halle admitted to herself that she kind of is addicted to drama. She has said it. So when you look at
Mm-hmm.
the personality types, if we are really sober about it, and we're looking at two people who grew up as kids in this industry, there may
Mm-hmm.
be a part of them that is truly addicted to the attention of it all, to the fame of it all. She is trying to present an image that's crystal clean and nice and pure so that she can gain attention. He's on the other side of that coin. The more drama, the better. The more ratchet he can be, the more trouble he can do, the more attention they can grab. So that's a marriage that is going to be combustible. It don't match in terms of what the image that you're trying to present, at least from Hallie's point of view. But to your point, if this was to happen in a way to where they both end up embarrassed, maybe it would serve to shift them a little bit. And at the end of the day, that's God's desire for all of us. Whatever He got to use to get us in alignment, then so be it. So whatever it takes is what I say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If something needs to happen, something needs to happen very clear, because this back and forth is not going to be healthy for Halo. Y'all need to get it together. You
Hmm.
really, truly needed to get it together. I do
Well, thank
appreciate you
you so
coming up.
much.
You're so welcome, and thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thanks.
I
Have
love
a
when
good
I hear
night.
you all. You too. Have a good night. All right. All right. Anybody else coming up? Y'all, thank you so much for listening. And we've gone over this DDG restraining order. It's a lot of revelations. I'm going to go back and pull up Hallie's, and then I'm going to read them both all over again, because this was a first read for this one. And so I'm going to read them both again and juxtapose them together and see what we come out of this. All right. All right, people. We do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Y'all, please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you cannot stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye-bye.